You three, get back here!
Disney confirmed Aladdin 2 shortly after the success of Guy Ritchie's 2019 live-action remake. Since then, there have been a few updates from the cast and Ritchie teasing that the movie is in the works. The 2019 Aladdin was a huge box office hit, making the 2020 confirmation of a sequel pretty expected. The movie made over $1 billion, so who wouldn't want to do that again? It was widely reported that the sequel was officially confirmed, with Disney moving forward in 2020. The cast of Aladdin 2 will likely be similar to the one from Guy Ritchie's 2019 remake. Mena Massoud from The Royal Treatment and Reprisal had previously hinted at returning for the sequel before his recent comments. Naomi Scott from Anatomy of a Scandal and Charlie's Angels is also expected to return as Princess Jasmine, with Navid Negahban from The Old Man and the Cleaning Lady reprising his role as the Sultan. What's still uncertain is whether Will Smith will return as Genie, especially since he's been busy with other projects in recent years. If the sequel follows a return of Jafar's storyline, Marwan Kenzari from Ghosted and Black Adam would likely reprise his role as the villain Jafar. However, if the movie takes a different direction, we may see a new antagonist. The plot of Aladdin 2 is still up in the air, but there's a lot of buzz around the possibility of a live-action return of Jafar. The 1994 direct-to-VHS sequel is considered one of Disney's better animated follow-ups, where Jafar returns to stir up more trouble. The premise is simple but engaging, and it could work really well as the foundation for Aladdin 2. In Return of Jafar, the story takes place a year after Jafar's defeat. Aladdin and Abu have settled into the palace of Agrabah with Princess Jasmine and the Sultan. Aladdin, still craving adventure, ends up foiling a criminal group led by the bumbling Abyss Mal and returns their stolen loot to the people of Agrabah. Meanwhile, in the desert, Jafar's parrot, Iago, escapes from Jafar's lamp. Tired of being mistreated, Iago refuses to follow Jafar's orders and tosses the lamp into a well. Iago heads to Agrabah, hoping to get back into the palace by making friends with Aladdin. During their first meeting, he, Aladdin, and Abu get attacked by Abyss Mal and his goons, and Iago ends up saving Aladdin's life. Grateful, Aladdin keeps Iago at the palace and promises to talk to the Sultan about him. Later, Abyss Mal finds Jafar's lamp and frees him, but Jafar's new master is useless, so Jafar tricks him into wasting 2 wishes before convincing him to help take revenge on Aladdin. Abyss Mal agrees, wanting revenge too. Meanwhile, the genie comes back to the palace after a year of traveling, though his powers are weaker since being freed from the lamp. At a banquet, the Sultan announces Aladdin as the new royal vizier. Raja finds Iago in the garden and chases him into the banquet. Aladdin asks the Sultan to forgive Iago, but Jasmine feels hurt that Aladdin never told her about him. The genie and Iago help them make up, but the Sultan is still wary and tells Aladdin to keep an eye on Iago. However, Jafar sneaks into the palace and tricks Iago into getting Aladdin and the Sultan to go on a trip to the waterfall. On the trip, the Sultan forgives Aladdin and Iago, but Jafar, now transformed into a group of sorcerer horsemen riding dragon-winged horses, ambushes them. He sends Aladdin into the waterfall and takes the Sultan, Jasmine, the genie, and Abu prisoner. Aladdin manages to make it back to Agrabah to warn Rasul, but Jafar, disguised as Jasmine, frames Aladdin for the Sultan's murder and sentences him to death. Feeling guilty, Iago frees the genie, who saves Aladdin. With Jafar now in control of Agrabah, Aladdin is determined to stop him, and the genie reveals that the only way to defeat Jafar is to destroy his lamp. Iago decides to leave, but not before Aladdin thanks him for his help. Jafar demands that Abyss Mal uses his 3rd wish to free him from the lamp, just as Aladdin and his friends show up to take it. In his genie form, Jafar ambushes the group, knocks the genie out, and destroys the carpet. He creates a pool of lava in the palace gardens and traps Aladdin on a sinking rock. Iago, realizing he's been tricked by Jafar all along, has a change of heart. He returns, grabs the lamp, but is badly burned in the process. With his last bit of strength, Iago kicks the lamp into the lava, causing Jafar to disappear and ending his reign of terror. Jafar's magic is undone, restoring the palace gardens and the carpet. Everyone assumes Iago is dead, but he wakes up and is forgiven, being allowed back into the palace. Aladdin turns down the Sultan's offer to become vizier, deciding instead to travel the world with Jasmine. In a post-credit scene, Abismal realizes that with Jafar gone and the lamp destroyed, he won't be getting his third wish. When Guy Ritchie's Aladdin 2 was first announced in 2020, screenwriters John Gatton's Real Steel and Andrea Berloff, straight outta Compton, were set to work on the story. But since then, the project seems to have stalled, and it's unclear if they're still involved or what the plans for the sequel were. Disney was even reportedly considering other Middle Eastern folktales for the plot. Unfortunately, unless the project gets a sudden boost, it looks like the story for the Aladdin sequel will stay a mystery. Now, there's a live-action Aladdin spin-off in the works, but I can't say I'm too thrilled about the direction it's taking. Instead of continuing Aladdin's story or exploring another tale from the 1001 Nights, the spin-off is focusing on a character I didn't expect. The character is Prince Anders, played by Billy Magnussen in the live-action Aladdin. He was one of Princess Jasmine's quirky suitors, and his over-the-top personality added some humor to the movie. Apparently, audiences loved his character so much that Disney decided to give him his own spin-off. Even though the pandemic slowed things down, Magnussen confirmed that the project is still on, and honestly, I'm a bit frustrated by that. I'm kind of scratching my head over Disney giving Prince Anders his own spin-off. I mean, I liked him for the laughs, but he wasn't exactly leading man material, so the idea of a whole movie about him feels a bit ridiculous. Anders was there to be a funny contrast, showing that no one could rule Agrabah better than Jasmine. Turning him into the main character would need a lot of character development, but honestly, I don't think he really deserves that kind of transformation. Aladdin was a big deal for actors of color, especially in Disney films, so it's frustrating that the only white actor in the movie, Magnussen, is getting a spin-off. It's not about him or his character, but a movie about Anders would probably be set in his home country, Scanland, which feels like something we've seen a million times in Disney movies like Norwegian or Russian-inspired settings. So even though the spin-off might be connected to Aladdin, it wouldn't have that unique 1001 Nights vibe. What's even more annoying is that Princess Jasmine would actually make a great lead for another Aladdin movie. She's the only Disney princess without her own film, and since she had such a big role in the 2019 live-action movie, it would make sense to dive into her reign as the Sultan of Agrabah. After all, if she'd married Anders, he would have taken the throne, and we saw in the 2019 film that he wasn't cut out for it. So it's pretty ironic that he's getting a spin-off instead of Jasmine. While I'd totally be down for a Princess Jasmine spin-off movie or show, there are definitely other Aladdin-related ideas I'd prefer over a Prince Anders story. The 2019 live-action movie set Will Smith's Genie up for some great potential, especially with him and his wife Dahlia, Nasim Pedrad, heading off on adventures together on their boat. This opens up so many possibilities, and a lot of them could draw from other tales in the 1001 Nights. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on this and other exciting upcoming movies. See you next time!